Hey peeps. So it's about that time that I take some more cuttings from my very big Monstera albo borsigiana, I think that's the one with the smaller leaves. And yeah, for those of you that have been following, this one has come a long way from the very first video that I made from it, starting from just one leaf, one aerial root cutting. So there's 2 vines in this terracotta pot here. So I've taken cuttings from this plant before, from both vines. I've taken a total of 4 cuttings. Although I've shown the progress on the propagations, I've never actually shown me doing the chop on the video. So I've done something a little bit different this time though, and I've attempted some sort of makeshift air layering where I've just wrapped some plastic wrap and I've put some soil and cocoa coir in there and just kept it damp, and I think it's grown some roots. So when I chop it, it's gonna already have quite a good head start, and hopefully I won't have so many failures. So I'm just going to be cutting this one vine here because it's a little bit uneven in height, and I'm going to be taking 3 cuttings. So I'm going to go grab my secateurs and we can chop. So I've made the chop, and this is the piece where I've done the air layering, or the makeshift air layering I should say. And this is what the big plant looks like with a haircut. So I've taken one section of the moss pole away, and it's still quite a big plant, so it's looking good. And also down here, which is very cool, it's actually growing a secondary vine from one of the other vines, so it should start looking a bit more fuller. But I think when I have a bit more time, I'm going to maybe put this in a slightly bigger and better pot. We'll see. But anyway, back to this guy here. So I'm going to make 3 cuttings from this one piece. So first of all, what I'm going to do is undo the plastic wrap and see what we're working with. Okay, so as I said, this should usually be done with sphagnum moss or something, but I'm just working with what I had, which was basically a small mix of what I'm using in the pot for the big plant, and it seems to have worked. We have some additional root growth, except for on this one maybe is the least growth, but this is the one I done last, and it's not been wrapped up for so long, so that's okay. It lets me know that all these pieces here are going to be viable, and the success rate is going to be much higher now, so I'm very happy with that. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to chop in between these nodes here and make 3 different cuttings from this one piece here. So I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. So they've all been cut, and I've got 4 pieces, sorry, instead of 3, which is very cool. 2 which are already fairly well rooted, 1 that's just started, and 1 I'm just going to do the old school way, and I'm just going to show you what I do to prepare them to put them into their new pots. So yeah, let's get going. So here I've got this little tea light candle. Yeah, I dropped a little bit of the cocoa coir in there, so don't mind that, it doesn't matter. It's been burning for a while, so there's quite a bit of wax that's now liquefied. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the ends and I'm just going to dip it into the melted wax. Obviously I'm going to blow the flame out first, and that's just going to seal it and make sure that no bacteria gets into those wounds and causes any nasty rot. Right, so I'm just going to show you how I do that. I'm just going to take the end and dip that end in. And you can see there, it's got a wax coat. And another dip. So that's the end going into the soil. Okay, and that's basically what I'm going to be doing on all the cuttings. And that's going to dry and just keep that nice and sealed. And here they are all capped off. So I've done both ends, as you can see there. So that's just a little bit of a tip if you want to really make sure that you don't have any problems with stem rot. Okay, so I'm just going to trim up these roots here to about here maybe, so they fit into the pot. And then we can start getting them into their new homes. So here they are, and in this big pot here I have 2, and in these pots here I just have just move this over. I just have 1 per pot of these small pots here and 2 in here. So that's all I do, guys. So at this point what I do is give it very, very minimal water, just enough to wet the surface. Give it to them when they're completely dry, roughly about once a week. And as they establish roots, you can increase the water a little bit as needed. And this is why I use these orchid pots, and I'll show you why. Okay, so this is a cutting that I took last year. This was summer last year, and it was a top cutting from the big plant, and I used an orchid pot, and as you can see here, you can really see the progress on the roots without having to dig it up and disturb it. So I just like doing that. And also, if I do sell a cutting, I don't really like to do it bare root. I like to kind of sell it like a complete package like this, with a little moss pole and in a pot. And I like them to see what they're buying. So there you have it, peeps. That's how I chop and prop my Monstera albo. I hope you learned something and enjoyed, of course, and I'll wrap up there. So thanks for watching. As always, it's much appreciated. Much love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.